Welcome back to Bearcat Update, sponsored by St. Francis Hospital. It's time for the Four Quarters segment, and today's expert will be KZLX Sports Director Nathan Moore. Thanks for joining us, Nathan.
Oh, thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
First quarter, Nathan. Northwest shut out Truman 49-0 last week and beat a tough Missouri Western team before that. Does this prove that the Bearcats are still a team to beat in the MIAA?
I think they have to be, obviously, with the track record they've done the last couple of years and the last decade, to say that. The offense is scoring a lot of points, 49 points last week. They scored 42 against Missouri Southern, a big rival. And I think that game was what kind of propelled them to Truman because, you know, they had I wouldn't say a bad game against Southwest Baptist, but they allowed 14 points early in the first quarter. And then after that, they kind of started, setting their defense up a little bit. But, Missouri Western is the type of team that is so close that they want to win that rival battle. And when they came and they won here at home against Missouri Western, it came and gave them, the edge, 49 points over Truman. And the offense is clicking, and it was the first shutout we've seen in years. I mean, even last year's team didn't see a shutout. So it's good to see the defense kind of play good for four quarters.
Second quarter. The Bearcats go to Omaha next week to take on UNO. It should be a pretty tough game. What are the keys for the Bearcats to come out of Omaha with a win?
If you listen to any person that talks football or practically any sports, it's obviously time of possession is a big key. Turnovers is the biggest key. Obviously, last week against Truman this past Saturday, they didn't turn the ball over, and that's something that they have to do, especially at UNO. It's one of their biggest rivals. I talked to Joel Osborne last week, and he said, a lot of people think that our biggest rival is Missouri Western, but UNO is a giant rival for us, and we obviously want to beat them at their home court. And this is a tough matchup. Absolutely. This is probably the game of the year. It's probably this coming week. And Northwest has a lot of momentum. 49-0 shutout against Truman. Joel Osborne's playing great. Blake Bowles is playing very good, backup quarterback, and brings a whole new aspect of the offense. And the defense, just said, shut out Truman, a very good team that we thought would be kind of a tough test, not necessarily a loss for Northwest, but a test to, be tough for them. And they came out and slammed the door in their face. Northwest, unless something dramatic happens, and with their great coaching that they've had, they have to be the favorites right now.
All right, third quarter now. The Kansas City Chiefs got beat by the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday, and they really didn't look good at all. Should the Chiefs completely overhaul their system and start fresh, or keep working with what they've got?
Yeah, a complete disaster on Sunday, and it's been a disaster for the first 3 weeks of the season. But I've said time and time again, they are not the worst team in the NFL, and they have a lot of talent. And Dwayne Bowe, he's had a very rocky first 3 weeks, but he's going to be a top elite wide receiver. It's just going to take him some time. Right now they've been bugged, obviously, with the quarterback situation. Brody Croyle was their starting quarterback and will be their starting quarterback hopefully next 3 weeks or so. Damon Heward is not the answer, so they're going to stick with Tyler Thigpen, obviously, is what Herm Edwards wants to do. I think that's the best direction they can go. They just have too much talent to give up on him yet. Larry Johnson played extremely well in this game. The main problem is, which is kind of something that we've not seen in a long time, is when Gunther Cunningham has been there, the defense is being shredded by the run. And we saw that with Darren McFadden last week against Oakland. He played exceedingly well. And then, of course, you see Michael Turner. And they've seen a lot of Turner in the last couple of years because he's the backup to LaDainian Tomlinson. But the secondary needs to get a lot better, and it's really young. The front four needs to get a lot better, and they're really young. Tamba Hali has a lot of shoes to fill because Jared Allen's not there this year. And obviously they need to get the quarterback situation resolved. And as of right now, Herm Edwards is on the hot seat. And he needs to, obviously I wouldn't say he has to win 8 or 10 games this year to stay alive right there in Kansas City, but he's probably looking down the road saying, yeah, I know I've got to make some drastic changes. But a complete overhaul, I don't think so. They're not the worst team in the NFL. They're going to get better. Just give them some time.
All right, fourth quarter, Nathan, final question. The Major League Baseball playoffs are almost set. What teams will turn heads in the postseason?
Well, turning heads, that's going to be a good question because I'm not a believer in Tampa Bay Rays. So I don't know if they're going to turn any heads. But if they do go far, they will. But I just don't expect it. Obviously, Boston's in the playoffs. For sure, they clinched a spot this weekend. The Yankees are out, so that's not a team to look for. The New York Mets right now, they're not officially in, but you can almost go ahead and write them in. The Brewers have been fading quickly. So you have the Phillies and you have the Mets. And also you have the Dodgers that look like they're going to hold off Arizona. The Dodgers, honestly, could be a team that could surprise a lot of people just because they have great coaching in Joe Torre. But you can't discredit what Lou Piniella done with the Cubs, and the emergence of Kerry Wood as a closer has done a great job. And the lineup's the scariest one next to the Angels in the American League. So I think it's going to be it's going to be the Angels and the Cubs. I think that's what I would expect to see. And if that's what it's going to be a great World Series because both of those teams are going to score lots of runs and they both have great bullpens. So it shouldn't be sloppy, something we've seen in the last couple of World Series.
All right, thanks, Nathan. We'll have to see if your bold predictions come out right. But that's going to do it for us here on Bearcat Update. We'd like to thank our sponsor, St. Francis Hospital. You can check us out on YouTube at www.youtube.com/KNWT8. For Ross Volkmer, I'm Matt Tritton. We'll see you next week.